Oh, look at this coach coming. Wait, this coach is not slowing down. What's he doing? Dude, this guy is unaffected by physics and there's aliens. The light just magically came on. Madness happens in Euro Truck Simulator 2. Welcome back, everyone, to the second part of this journey. It's been a while. I do apologise for the length of time between these two episodes, but last time out we went from Gothenberg to this point. So if you haven't checked out the last episode, go check it out. There'll be a card in the top right of the video, and you can go watch that because some scenery was actually really good. And it's a bit of a shame that you haven't seen like the first part of this journey, but if you thought the scenery from the first part was good, well, this part gets even better because we don't spend as much time in the cities. We just go around like some small towns, and you get to see a lot of trees and bridges like the one coming up right now. What a bridge that is. Oh my god. Anyways, I've got a lot of stuff to talk about in this one. That's kind of why I've postponed the part until this point, because there's a ton of stuff that I need to talk about. First one being that the wheel that I used to record this episode with, which is the Thrustmaster T150, has kind of broke. Specifically the pedals, because the plastic bit on the end of them is kind of snapped off. So essentially, that means that the wheel is a bit useless, and instead of spending what would be like kind of £80 on a set of pedals, which isn't much, to be fair, but given that I've had the wheel like 3 years, I might as well just get a new wheel. So I've actually got the Logitech G920 driving force wheel, and yeah, that's a drastic difference from the T150, and it's just the wheel feels a lot better, the gears are quieter on it, so it doesn't make a horrible noise all the time when I turn, and it's supported a lot better in terms of like games such as OMSI. Technically with OMSI I only needed to turn the Thrustmaster like a little bit and it would just go like ridiculously left or right. It was unreal. But with this Logitech one, it's a lot better. It's I think it's got a 900-degree radius, I think, which makes turning a lot easier and more like real life. But there's an issue with the pedals, and I'm going to go through that just in case you want to actually buy a set of Logitech G920 pedals. Technically, what I've just like researched and stuff, the brake pedal on the G920, this was after I got it is a bit stiff. It's stupid because they put a spring in the, like a really firm spring in the brake pedal. What that means for games is that when you push it normally, it only does about 20% braking, which is not a lot. And the only way kind of around that is probably removing the spring, so you can get literally full travel on the brake pedal, so you can literally push the brake pedal all the way to its maximum point. That would help with braking. It's a stupid design. I only found out after I got it, and people say that the G27, I think it is, pedals were a lot better. Kind of wish I got a G27, but at the same time the G920 is a good wheel to begin with. It's just the pedals, I'm afraid, that are a little bit off, but all you need to do is, I think, just unscrew the bottom of it and take the spring out, and then I think we're pretty much done. For the moment though, I will use the clutch pedal as a brake pedal, because the clutch for some reason is a lot less springy. Well, it actually travels the full, like, kind of like, it travels all the way down. You can press it all the way down and it goes to like 100%. That's essentially what it is. But yeah, that was the Logitech G920 driving force wheel that I got. The Xbox One version is the one I have now, and hopefully very soon I'll have some videos coming on that. There's an OMSI 2 video that I'll be doing, which kind of uses the old wheel, so the Thrustmaster. So that's going to be it's a bit of a pain using the Thrustmaster with OMSI, because it was stupid. It really was. You couldn't turn properly. You couldn't be accurate. But with the Logitech, you can be like unbelievably accurate with it. So yeah, new wheel, new bit of tech to get used to. It's a lot better, anyways, I think. So hopefully we'll have some more videos coming soon. I tried to use the manual shifter with this. The manual shifter isn't a problem. As I said, it's the brake pedal. It's a bit of a pain. I think for trucking videos in the future, I'll use the auto gears still. It's kind of a shame because I wanted to use the manual just to see how it was. But, you know, if the brake pedal's a bit screwed, which isn't a problem, I can move to manual like later. I don't have to do it straight away, but, you know, it's just a bit of a pain to work around to use the clutch pedal as a brake. But, you know, it's just the pedals are great. Besides that, so yeah, moving on. Back to the game. We're kind of approaching this town called Otter. It doesn't say that on the navigation, as you can see. The O looks like a C, so it's like CTTA or something. But we're going to pull in here and have a little look around this town. This is going to be a little bit of a fun exploration, just to kind of distract us from the long journey ahead. I haven't really said much. To be fair, there's not really much to say. There's trees, but there's a big I say big roundabout. There's a roundabout in the middle of this town. So, and there goes a sign. There's one sign gone. We're kind of creating havoc here. Let's see how many signs we can knock over. This is literally just carnage. I just wrecked a sign, and it's on the floor right there. But yeah, there's a fuel station on the left there, going out of the town. That'll be fun to pull into, I suppose. It looks really good, actually. Oh wait, and then I've knocked another sign over. That's fantastic. 2 signs. Reckless driving. That's me. Yep, there's a nice little petrol station. And there's the horn. Yeah, it's not too bad of a place. It's a little town. Nice little place to kind of pull into to refuel and then go out again. I paused the game for some strange reason. And yeah, we're back underway to continue the rest of this journey. Just a little bit of just wanted to break it down a little bit. Oh, but wait, there's a truck with a tank behind us. Truck with a tank. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Jazzy Cat or someone must have included like as part of like kind of heavier cargoes. They've put tanks in, so you don't really need the military pack. I don't know about the current version because I haven't really played the game since I recorded this, so I'm not too sure with that. But they've added like heavier cargoes to the actual default kind of pack, which is good. So I don't have to install multiple mods and then the game breaks. But yeah, moving on to updates then. Another update is going to be like, well, videos. I've focused a lot on F1 2017, and it will be focused upon quite a bit on the channel, but then there's this kind of thing up in the air saying, where's my summer car? And all that. My summer car, there's American Truck Simulator as well. I don't really do too much on that. I mainly do it around this. And then there's Motorsport Manager and such as well. So I'm kind of going to give you an update based on all of them if you're interested in the Motorsport Manager or My Summer Car or even this. I know like the majority of people are subscribed to the channel, I believe, from F1. So essentially that's probably meaning that racing games are going to be like the main focus, because everyone pretty much that's came to my channel in the last couple of months has subscribed from an F1 video, which is good. The odd person might not have, which is fine. I think I only had one subscriber from the Battlefront beta stream that I did, and I haven't gone through that, and the game comes out very soon, so it's a bit of a wasted attempt to make a video on that now, the beta of Battlefront 2. But My Summer Car, to start off with, I had a big issue with the game. There was this weird thing that went on with the car, and then it was just like it smoked and all that. I tried to use the My Summer Car editor to find out what it was. I thought it was the alternator. Turns out it wasn't. since I replaced it. It was probably the gearbox or something, but then it was just going to be a faff taking it all apart, and then if it didn't fix itself, well, I'd be just disappointed. So what's going to happen with that is I'm going to start again. I'm not going to record everything. I'm going to restart the series. I'm going to roughly find a place that I picked off from. I also knocked another sign back off there, so that's like 3 signs now. I'm going to roughly find the point in kind of the when I redo it again. I'm going to find the point where I'm up to, and then I'm going to pick up from there. There's a lot of updates that have been to the game as well, and I didn't really do the game an awful lot. That will probably come back to the channel, I would say by next year, early next year. Could be sooner. It just depends on what I really feel like doing with it, I suppose. But you know, this is, if you go to count all the series, I've had about like 5 different series on this channel all at once. Well, no, probably not 5, but one series is the simulator stuff, which is the trucking, which is American Truck and Euro Truck. So technically, you could count that as 2 separate series or one series. Essentially, I'd just count it as one because they alternate between each other. Then you have My Summer Car, that's 2, F1, big part, and is the main series is 3, and then Motorsport Manager 4. So yeah, I kind of really want to cut back on all that. It's just kind of a thing that I got used to when I just did F1. I remember last year I did do F1 2016, which is also another topic I want to talk about in terms of the videos that I made for that. That's going to be coming a bit later on in the video. But last year when I did F1 2016, I had about another 2-3 series on the go at the same time, and didn't really do F1 2016 as much, and it wasn't really as high quality as what it is this year. This year is actually a lot better in terms of the game. We've got photo mode for the PS4 now, in one of the most recent updates. Nothing like that in F1 2016. I just like kind of took a replay camera shot and it was consistent thumbnail essentially, but part by part it's different. The image is different. The base of it stays the same, it's just the image that changes, like the kind of background image and the flag, really. So essentially, that's a little bit better to record. I can do the replay cameras pretty much as quick as possible. I can do them pretty quickly after Season 1. Season 1 was kind of like the part where I kind of didn't really do it that much beforehand, so it was kind of like trawling through everything, getting the replays, but as soon as I've done it through the 18 episodes, it's a little bit better. I've gotten a bit more used to it. Season 2 will kick off pretty well, I suppose, in terms of the replays. And yeah, overall just a better game. So from doing that series alone, I've actually got further ahead. I haven't really, compared to last year, I haven't really kind of like, by this time, last year, sorry, I think I got through Season 2, but then that was pretty much low quality and quite bad. With replay cameras, it's a little bit better for you to watch, for me to edit. Also have the custom driver labels, which is a nice little addition. I don't see anyone else on YouTube using those, in terms of the big guys doing the career modes and all that. So it's kind of that what makes me different. I just kind of made up a little graphic to overlay for the names and stuff, and it's also a bit beneficial if you don't watch F1 as such, or you're not familiar with the drivers, and sometimes I get confused with who I'm battling. The driver labels help you to distinguish that quite well. So in terms of that, that's going to be the main series. That's going to stay till F1 2018 comes out, which is drastically different from last year because I quit at like, I think in April with it. So to do it till next year's game comes out is going to be good. I'm going to have to change it maybe in Season 3 when I do it. I'm going to have to change a little bit how I do it in terms of maybe layout, replay cameras, kind of drivers that I focus on, because I focus mainly on, like, me on the replay cameras. Just other drivers and other battles, but not too many, if that makes sense. Don't distract unnecessarily from the actual kind of main person in this kind of career mode. It's not the AI, it's me, so that's what I kind of want to focus around. So, Motorsport Manager. Don't know if that'll come back. I really don't know. I was kind of considering it, but I'm not too sure. I was considering it to finish at least the season, but with how the views fared with that, I don't know. I might try another episode or two. I may end up finishing the season just to see really how it will progress, because I really don't want to kind of like do a series long term if the views are going to be bad. That has happened before, and I've continued series like that, and I've just like too late. It's been too late for me to realise to like kind of judge like, oh, this series is not working. Let's completely ditch this. I'm kind of a little bit now more cautious to start series that I know will not get views. I used to start series like loads of last year. I've deleted a load of videos. I used to start a lot of series. I don't know why, just out of boredom. A lot of things to do. But in reality, 2 years later, from literally my first kind of video on YouTube, I've kind of realised now that that's not the way to go. Don't do 3 to 4 different series. Focus on one, and then kind of take into account who your subscribers are, where they've come from as such, and then that kind of gauges content for the future. Now this is a little bit hit and miss with me, because I don't have all data on all my subscribers, so I don't know what they're subscribed from. But from what I've kind of realised recently is that they've come from F1. Essentially, that means that they're into racing, into F1 specifically, who knows, but that's kind of gauged kind of my mind to say, well, racing content is what they want to see. So I might do some racing content in the future. Maybe on Gran Turismo Sport, Project Cars 2. I know Gran Turismo Sport's a bit of a pain, because like there's no single player career mode, which is shocking, because that's what kind of most racing games should have. Project Cars, F1 have them, unless it's an online focused thing, which it is at this point. It just rips it away from the player, really, because you have the single player driving school. Yeah, the single player driving school in the single player stuff is fine, but just to have a multiplayer, not a career mode, it's a bit disappointing. Not a huge range of tracks either, from what I've gauged. I was gonna end up buying the game at release, but then I read the reviews and was like, actually, this is not a lot to play with at all. And that just depends, really. I don't know, but I might wait later to do it, or I might just overlook it completely. Who knows? But also, I mentioned earlier, I'm getting distracted by a lot of things actually. I mentioned earlier about F1 2016 and the videos that I made for that. Yes, right. There's an issue. I had 2 copyrighted videos that were blocked. I used soundtracks from the time, right? These were from Montage Rock, I believe. So it was copyright free. All of a sudden, it gets copyrighted. Oh wait, 2 of your videos gets blocked worldwide. To be fair, the F1 2016, that's okay at this point, because I don't do it anymore. The game's kind of fizzled out completely. No one's going to really watch it. So from that point, I kind of like removed the soundtracks and deleted it from like the whole series from YouTube, because like no one watches F1 2016 anymore. And kind of that was me kind of in the year of YouTube, and it was a bit naff to watch. It was like horrible quality. Now most of my videos are actually 720p quality, depending on how I record stuff. With PC recording like this, it's easier because you don't get the bit rate weird things, but with the PS4 I don't have a capture card, so I use the streaming thing to YouTube, and that sometimes is not great, and it can show a little bit. You can see some blocks, mainly in black areas or dark areas. So that's kind of why the F1 videos are a little bit weird, but nonetheless, they're okay, it works. But in terms of copyrighted videos, I'm sick of talking about this. I get annoyed so much. these days because copyrighted stuff like soundtracks, noises can be copyrighted, believe it or not. Just like soundtracks, noises, music, it destroys the entire thing. Even visual kind of aspects, which is what happened with F1 2017. I got hit with that, the blocked worldwide thing on the China episode in season 1, so for me that was a complete write-off. I couldn't download it or anything. It was a complete write-off of an episode. And then I kind of sit back and look at it again, and I'm like, why is this happening? YouTube is going to be destroyed, potentially by copyrighted kind of soundtracks, if you like. I guess it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I'm not against the whole thing completely. It helps protect artists, I get that. It's fine. But the whole point is that it needs to be managed in a way where it's not going to affect YouTubers' position on YouTube. It's not going to affect how the video's made, i.e. blocked worldwide. So you have to discard the whole thing, and that's just wasted time. Or it's just like demonetization. I kind of agree with the thing about demonetization for copyrighted stuff, which is okay. I get it, because someone's earning money from someone else's work, and then that's kind of like wrong. But for creators like me who don't do it as a paid thing, it kind of destroys it. And I'm not saying the solution is to completely penalise people who make money from it and don't penalise that don't, because that's not fair. There should be a way around it. There really should be, because copyrighted things such as like soundtracks, visual elements, some of these things, it's just a bit of a pain. I've had the visual elements with the F1 2017. It's too much like real life. But then you're paying for the game, but then you can earn money on top of that from that. It's a bit weird. At this point I'm kind of like struggling to find a solution, but you know, kind of giving it thoughts, you could find a solution around it. But music copyrighted at a later date shouldn't really be affected on videos that are published before the copyright date time. Essentially, that's what I'm saying. Some stuff like Star Wars stuff is actually copyrighted. The music, the lightsaber noises, it's heavily copyrighted. Music, there's a lot of soundtracks that are copyrighted. That kind of takes it away from the feeling of the actual game when you're playing it. So essentially, I've been hit with it throughout the time, like the 2 years on YouTube. I'm very careful now. Most games that I do not have radios, such as this game and OMC 2, which will be coming out. F1 doesn't have the issue of copyrighted, apart from the, you know, the visual elements. But yeah, just be careful, everyone, if you're doing videos on it. Just be extremely careful about copyrighted stuff. Doing research into it helps. But saying that, I've actually chatted my way all the way to the delivery point. That was a bit of a... That came sooner than expected, actually. So, we're at the delivery point, and yeah, we've finally completed the delivery. I haven't really commented on the scenery. There wasn't really much to it. There was a couple of bridges which were really, really good. I loved it. But we've got satisfactory. We've got 2.3 damage on it, probably when we crash into the wall there. Yep, just short level 16 now. Depending on what I feel like doing, this series may or may not continue as well. Also, just quickly before I kind of end this episode, ETS New Mexico expansion will be coming November 9th. So probably not from that date. I'll probably wait till the Black Friday sales before I even purchase it. So I might do a video around it then. But it's a paid DLC. I think it's like £8.99, £8.99 at least. I know for the UK, I think it's like $11.99 or something. Not too sure. But yeah, that's going to be coming out. I will do a video on that, and I will do that with the Logitech G920 as previously mentioned. But what a delivery that was. The scenery was actually really good for the first part, anyways, and most of the second part was actually okay. It was just trees, really. So there's a variation in scenery there, but. Just going to park my truck up here like you do, across 2 parking spots, because we can't really fit it in one. That's going to be it for this ETS 2 video. I was going to say ATS then. Thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe for more content, F1 2017, and maybe more truck sim stuff. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. And I don't know if I'm going to continue this series, but I shall see you all in the next video.